Hey, this is Ruben, an amalgamation of Rubel and Ben. Sorry we couldn't be there with you tonight to enjoy the Thursday night prime rib special. Try the homemade onion rings. They're delicious. Kurt, Roxy, I know you've loved Grace Chapel so much. This has been your home for the past 14 years and will continue to be your home. Thank you for all your dedication and hard work through the years, pouring your heart and soul into getting Grace Chapel from that small group meeting at the school through the warehouse, and finally into our beautiful facility at Majors in Castleberry. Thank you for the many roles that you've played, always staying optimistic, always having the best in mind, for being a peacemaker, for being active in people's lives, especially those that are hurting. I know God has been urging you, calling you to commit to India full-time for a long time. I know you've sought God's wisdom along the way and direction as to whether you should be seeking this full-time work. It's a ministry. We've prayed about it, and the more we've thought and prayed, the more we know that God has the situation in His hands. The more we're affirmed by God's sovereignty over every season of change. He's more than able to guide His children through every season, even the difficult ones. Well, it's certainly sad to see Kurt leave the pulpit ministry. We know that God has a wonderful plan for both Kurt and Roxy, and we're excited about that, and we're excited about the plans He has for us as well. We clearly see God's work at hand in this situation. The better half of me, Rubel, lived in Michigan when you accepted God's call to India, and he was in a perfect place and time in his life to land here for a time to help us with the transition. Make no mistake, that's not a coincidence. That's God's hand at work. We feel confident that God is all over this situation, providing for us every step of the way. This is a great example of what a life in service of God should be all about. Seeking His will, accepting His will, and acting on His will. That's exactly what you two have done, and that's what we want Grace Chapel to embrace. In spite of some of the sadness at saying goodbye to your familiar presence in the pulpit, this is a day of celebration of God's plan, God's leading, and the opportunity to help God's kingdom grow throughout the world. Bless you, Kurt and Rocky.